Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Amanda here from Scrimpingmommy.co.uk, and this week I'm going to be focusing on items for Christmas, Christmas gifts, Christmas crafts, the craft fairs and things like that, okay? And this is not a new idea, I haven't invented it, but I'm going to show you how you can make it look super pretty. It's really easy, very straightforward, and yeah, you can have some real fun with it. So I'm starting off with post-it notes. I've got quite a few of these big blocks of post-it notes. I actually had them given at a team retreat. And yeah, what you can do is basically just split them. Split them into smaller sections, buy your big blocks and split them. You don't have to give them all that. It doesn't make for pretty packaging. So just, just get a few in a bundle. It's more than enough, and that way you're getting more than one out of your block. Now I'm starting with a piece of chipboard that measures, now these post-it notes are 3 by 3 square, so I'm starting with a board that is 4 by 4 inches square. Now these, I've got quite a few, happen to come in this is me being scrimpy again, when you get your doilies from Stampin' Up, the foiled ones or the white paper ones, they've got this little cardboard backing on them, and I saved them because I think they'll come in useful. So that's cost me nothing, it was free. So what I'm going to do is, this one is pink. I am sorry, I do a lot of pink. Just bear in mind that whatever project I can do, you can use different papers. I've got a bit of a thing for pink, I'm sorry. So I'm going to do it in a different colour this time. I'm going to do it in this one, which is the Berry Burst, okay? And all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto, where's my glue? I'll just reach for my glue. I thought I had everything prepared, but never mind. Reach for my glue and put plenty of glue on there. You could use sticky tape if you want. I just prefer to use my glue. Grab myself some scissors, and we're just going to layer that over, starting at a corner so we don't waste paper. There we go. I'll layer that over. If you haven't got any chipboard, use cereal packets. You know, if you're really stuck, you don't have cereal packets, glue a couple sheets of cardstock together, although that's quite an expensive way. I would just use cereal packets. Just put your cereal in a Ziploc bag and nick the box. It'll be alright. But yeah, I do not buy chipboard. I always recycle it from somewhere, either from the back of the DSP stacks or packaging or whatever. I don't buy it. And then I'm going to cut it out. And I just find this easier than cutting the piece to size and then sticking it on, because if you don't get it quite straight, or you've not cut it quite right, or your chipboard's not exactly perfectly straight, then you know your project can look a bit rubbish. So you just get a better finish if you stick it on and then cut it out, because then you know you've done it right. Okay, so that's one side, and on the other side I'm going to use the other side of the DSP. I don't suppose it matters which way up it goes. Stick it on there. Now on my pink one, because it's a pale colour, if I just show you what I did on here as well to make it quite shabby, because I do love shabby chic style, I got some gesso and I just dabbed it all the way around the edge and on the corners. I think I'll do it, I might get away with doing it on this one, but I'll have to do it quite pale because this is a bit of a deeper colour. I'll have a go and we'll see. Let's see how it goes. Cut that out. I haven't cut that out very straight. Hold on a minute. There we go. And cut that out that way. my board done. Okay, so what I'll do now is I will just dab some paint on the edges, some white paint, which is where just a small pot of paint like you do. Nearly broke my arm picking that up, it's heavy. So I'm just going to get some, this is just gesso, it's quite cheap. So I'm going to paint the edge of my cardstock or chipboard, because then you can't see that grey. I always say it's tiny details and you can't see that grey. You could colour it in with a pen if you wanted, I suppose. Or you could be clever and you could paint the edges before you stick the paper on. So that's that. And then we're just going to scrape some off and then just flick the brush around the edges just to give it a whitewash sort of effect. It just looks pretty. Just dab it with your fingers. I like getting all messy. If you just dab it with your finger like that, then it takes away the brush marks, because I've got rubbish brushes here. You could dab it on with a sponge. You want it to be kind of a faded kind of look rather than a brilliant white look. So put it on and then rub it off a bit. That's it, and just smooth it around. Okay. And the same on the back, just add a bit of paint. Maybe if you're organised and you've got kitchen roll on your desk, you could use some kitchen roll to dab any excess off. I just like to use my hands. I like putting glue on the back of my hands. I like getting messy with paint. Don't bother me at all. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go away and I'm going to dry this with my heat gun. And then I will come right back. If I can press my button. Okay, so I've finished that now, and you can see it's just got a faint whitewash. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the little post-it note, and what we're going to do first of all is cover it in a Whisper White layer over the top, like a little closure, and this measures 6 by 3 2/8. Okay, and I'm just going to centralise my post-it notes with that's the sticky side up. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just gauge where I want a lip there and a lip all the way around, and then I'm just going to lift that up and crease it. It's just easier than doing precise measurements, because your post-it notes might all be different. Okay. Now what I'm going to do actually is I'm just going to change the size of that. So it's 3 1/8, and I want it, I don't need it all that on. So 3 1/8 by, let's say 4. I think 4 will be enough. Let's have 4 1/4. So 3 1/8 by 4 1/4. Chop that down, we don't need all that bulk, I don't know what we're thinking. So, put my post-it note back on to where I want it, lift that initial crease up and over the top, and then it fits perfect. Get your bone folder, give it a crease. Okay. And then what you can do then is just apply some strong tape. Where's my, there we go. I'm going to just use tear tape. Oh, got a hair there. Tear tape on that, and just attach just the back, not the front. Don't need to attach the front, because you're going to have your binder clip on it. Okay. Remove that. I've been watching Scrap the World, she's called, on YouTube recently, I did used to watch her before, and I don't know why I stopped getting notifications. I don't know if YouTube changed things and I stopped getting notifications of her videos. I don't know, but I picked it back up again this last few weeks, and she does a lot of swaps for swap groups and things like that, and the presentation and the attention to detail on packaging is amazing and very, very inspiring. I absolutely love what they do over there, and I love what she does. So it just goes to show that, you know, by presenting things really beautifully, it makes a difference. Now that fits on there like so, and you just get one of these quite large bulldog clips, and that will fit over there like so. Yeah, get that centralised where you like it. I'm happy with that, and we can just move that to one side for a minute now, because what we're going to do is I've got this die cut and it says friend, and this is from the die set, which is Lovely Words Thinlets. We're not meant to use that word now, apparently, are we, in our YouTube videos? The metal things that cut out shapes, thinlets, and it's Lovely Words. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually emboss it. So I just need to, it's already been cut, so I just need to fill it with lots and lots of embossing ink. Like so, by just pressing it. Okay. Bring out my trusty piece of scrap paper again. And I'm using the silver embossing ink. I'm just going to sprinkle that all over. Plenty on. Plenty. In fact, I've nearly poured the whole tub out there. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, using my perky tool, I'm just going to rub it around in the powder a bit, because I want to make sure it sticks on all of those little edges, like there. And then gently pick it up, very, very gently. Knock it off. I'm just going to place it on my mat there and get my heat gun. I'm just going to emboss this and then I will be back. Right, that's embossed absolutely beautifully. That silver embossing powder really does, it's just amazing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to stick this onto my cardstock cover of my post-it note. You know, you could use a different sentiment, obviously. You could stamp on it. There's quite a lot of different things you could do. It's just an idea. So, whoops, nearly dropped it then. I'm going to centralise that. And it's just a little bit bigger than the cover, and I like it that way because it kind of protrudes over the edge of it, and I love it. I think it looks really nice. So I'm just going to press it down with the end of my pokey tool. Just dab off any excess glue. It'll dry clear anyway, this glue, so I'm not worried. It will dry clear. So that's that. Okay, so now I'm going to add a bow at the top. So this is the matching ribbon, finely woven 1/2 inch. It is. So I'm just going to cut myself some, and I'm going to tie it around my clip, like so. On the pink one I used, the pink shimmer ribbon, and it's absolutely stunning. I love it. I need to go and buy some more because it's just too beautiful. So I need to get some so I can hoard it. So just tie that as tight as I can. Okay. And then just tie it in a bow. Pull that tight. Pull it back a bit. This is the only thing with bows. They send me to distraction. Right, I'm just going to cut that tail. It cuts nicely, does this stuff. Some of them, when you cut them, they can be a bit frayer. The finely woven ribbon doesn't. It's beautiful. So that's that done. Looking beautiful already. And now for the packaging. So as you can see here, I've got a background card there, which I'm going to show you how I made. So what we need is a piece of DSP or coordinating cardstock for the back layer, and this measures 5 1/8 by 6, and then this is a cardstock layer, and this measures 4 7/8 by 5 3/4. Now I have run this through my I'm just looking on my list where it's called Layered Leaves. I've put it through my Layered Leaves die. It's slightly wider, not die, embossing powder, embossing folder. Oh my goodness. It's the pattern does stop short because the card's wider than the embossing folder, but I like how it's got that little strip down each side. I'm just going to ink it with, in fact, I'll ink it with this one, which is powder pink. Just going to ink the edge. Just gives it a nice soft finish. I didn't want to ink it in the Berry Burst because I think that can be a little bit harsh for inking an edge, because it's a very, very bright colour, very, very beautiful, but I just wanted something a little bit softer in this instance. So I'm using the powder pink, which is in the same suite. It's the one of the new ink colours, so it does go nicely. I'm just going to layer that on using tear tape. You can use glue if you want. There we go. I always think that the devil's in the detail, that's the saying, and if you decorate something nicely, it looks just, the finish just looks better, doesn't it? So I'll remove that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up and get it how I want it, and then stick that bottom down first, and then now I can go back and remove the rest of my tape and press my DSP down and it'll stay straight. Like so. There we go. I think that's lovely. So now I just need to make the topper for the plastic bag. I just need to go and get a bag. I'll be back in a minute. That Marcello bag was at the other side of the room. Now these I buy locally from a wholesalers. Stampin' Up! Do bags as well. You can have a look on there. This one, particular one, measures... what does it measure? 5 and... just short of 5 7/8 by right up to the top there. I mean, closed it would be about 7 and 1/8. But it does fit this size backing in absolutely perfectly, and we're going to slide that in like that. Now we're going to pack this with the sticky tab at the bottom, so that, if I just show you, keep your sticker opening at the bottom rather than at the top, and then when they open it they're not destroying all of the packaging. Okay, So we can now put our, oh, I've just forgotten one tiny little detail. I did add a tiny little flower onto my pink one, and I want to add the same on here. These is just a little doodads out of my personal stash. You could add just a little crystal. You could add anything you want. I just like these little flowers. Most crafters have got boxes of what I call doodads. Tiny little bits of stuff that you buy and you pick up to decorate things with. So get in your stash and have a look what you've got. Tiny little bit of glue on there. Come on. Tiny little bit of glue, don't need a lot. And I'm just going to stick that there where it says friend. Okay. And then I can slide that into my packaging like so. I'm not attaching it to the board because I don't want any of the things to rip. So then I'm just going to turn that over and I'm just going to seal it. Don't seal it fully all the way up. You want to leave yourself room to put a header in, or a topper rather. I'll just shove that up a bit. So you want a little topper for the top there. Maybe if you've got removable glue dots, you could attach that to the backing sheet so it doesn't move about. So to make the header, you need a piece of the DSP, and you want to cut it at 5.5 by 1 3/4. So let me do that on here. So I want it 5.5. Oh, that's a scarring tool, you know now. 5.5 by 1 3/4. Okay. And then score it at 3/4. So I'll score it from this side. Get off. Okay. Give that a score. Just get my little corner rounder. Unfortunately this is retired, but I'm still using it, don't care. If you don't have one and you've got the envelope punch board, you can use the back end of that. So then we fold it like so. I'm just going to ink it. Nope, that's not the ink I used, is it? No, I used this one. Okay. Give it a bit of an ink. I can hear somebody in backfield. My house is surrounded by fields, but I can hear somebody with like some kind of a cutter. I don't know if they're cutting trees down or what, but it's so noisy. I hope you can't hear it. So that's that, and then I'm going to just add some tear tape. I love making packaging, absolutely love it. I'm going to be doing some swaps, I think. Get back into doing some crafty swaps, some of my Shabby Chic work. I love, I just love Shabby Chic stuff, which is probably why I pick pink a lot. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put another layer of tape very close to the edge of there as well, actually, because I'm going to add a little bit of lace. There is one in the Stampin' Up catalogue, very thin. You could use that. I'm using some out of my personal stash because I kind of like have quite a bit of it. Just a bit. So I'm going to measure that. It's just a really small gathered. I'm just going to curve that edge. Really small gathered one. I want it about that long. That just adds that a little bit of prettiness and softness to the edge of the paper. So we'll add that on there, like so. Let's have a look. It's not straight. I'll take it off and try again because it's not straight, and I can't, it would bug me. Can't send something out that's not right. Bit more up there. Right, I'm going to trim that around. Right, I'm happy with that. I'm sorry if the light's gone funny. I think it must be going to absolutely chuck it down because it's gone very, very dark all of a sudden. I wonder if I can just adjust the white balance. Let me have a look. Yeah, it's starting to rain. White balance. Let me have a look. See if it'll let me adjust it. There you go. Is that a bit better? It's absolutely chucking it down. It's just come over all of a sudden, and I just realised that it had gone really dark. Right, so that's that. So then we're going to line this up on here now. Get it central as we can. And then give that a close. And we've got our pretty topper with just a little bit of lace showing there. I think that's really lovely. I feel like gifting that to myself. It's so pretty. Right, I'm just going to finish it off now with a bow. And I could just tie a ribbon bow, but we want it to be special, so I'm going to make one out of my bow builder punch. Okay. What have I done with my glue dots? Now there's a thing. What have I done? I don't know what I've done with them. What have I done with them? They were here a minute ago and now they've gone. Here we go. I'll have to start a new packet of glue dots because I don't know what I've done with the other ones. So the bow builder, you just can put it together with glue dots. It's super easy. My little girl likes making these. She'll sit and watch the TV and make bows. She just thinks it's awesome. Just line that up nicely, that's one. That's two. And then you join them together. Like so, one on top of the other. Oh, that one's come undone. Fiddly, fiddly, fiddly. They are fiddly, but they're worth it because they're so cute. Just give them a bit of a curl. This might not necessarily be a quick project, but it's worth it because it's lovely. It's a lovely little gift. And at the same time you're having fun crafting. What more could you want? Can't think about better myself. And I do like how I've managed to do another colour, but it's still just as pretty to me and girly as the pink. You could obviously change it up if you wanted to do some non-girly ones. Why not? I like girly stuff. I'm just going to cut a really thin sliver of the DSP to, again, it's one of those silly attention to detail things. I just want to wrap around the bow, really. A couple of glue dots. One in the centre. Wrap that around. I just think it looks nicer. I don't know why, because I don't suppose it really matters. But to me, in my head, that looks better than using the same colour cardstock to wrap round. Another glue dot. There we go. Okay, now we can attach that to our parcel with more glue dots. Glue dots are definitely your best friend when making these little bows. You can use hot glue as well. I've seen ladies build them with hot glue. Right, I'm going to add that in the centre. which is about there. And then we've just got one more finishing touch, which is to add some of the basic pearls. Quite a few processes in this little project, but wow, what a lovely result. So we'll put a big one in the middle of the bow, and then we're going to put 3 big, medium and small just on the edge of the packaging there. 2 and 3, little baby one there, and we're done. We're good to go. I hope that you like that. So that's that one, and that is my pink one, and I think those are gorgeous. I'd be happy to receive one of those as a gift, or to buy one from somebody that was, you know, selling on a craft stall. I hope you'll give it a try. Thanks for watching. Bye.